Hello everybody and welcome to session 4 of Reducing the Rage. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. I'm really good today and I'm really looking forward to this video as usual. It's like the highlight of my week recording these videos. So my name is Piera and just a few things before we start. If you remember, I do drink water sometimes, please, and I use flip charts as well, so I'm gonna move those around. I'm also gonna use notes. I got loads today, guys, so bear with me if I'm just reading it through, alright? So as usual, we're gonna start with a recap from the previous session, and then we're gonna go straight into the new one. So the new one is all about a few skills, and then we're gonna talk about emotions, feelings, and thoughts as well, alright? So let's start with the recap there. So last week, the first thing we did, we went through attachment theory and attachment styles. Now I forgot to write it on here. I got my notes, so I'm just gonna take you through really quickly. So if you remember, I'm just gonna read it out. So attachment is the connection made between the mother or the primary caregiver and the child and the baby from the moment the baby is born. All right. And its function is to ensure the safety of the newborn. And then we went through a few examples, and then we went also through the attachment styles itself. So the main example was the baby cries, the mother or primary caregiver tends to the baby, and what does the baby learn, and then how what the baby learns and how that's gonna affect the baby relationship when he's an adult. All right, so let's just do one example. Should we do the easy one? Let's do the easy one. So let's say the baby cry and the mother tends to the baby needs promptly. So the response is quick, is consistent, is sensitive. So what does the baby learn? The baby learns that if he cries, somebody will come and they will tend to their needs. They will feed them, they will bathe them, they'll change them, anything that they need, they will cuddle them, yeah? So then when the baby grows as an adult, the baby will learn that relationships are safe and they're healthy and they're generally positive. So this will be a secure attachment style. And then there is 3 more which I'm just gonna mention, and there will be avoidant, chaotic, and anxious as well. So these are like kind of not the not so good ones, if that makes sense. So if you want to learn a little bit more, please do watch my video from last time or just search online. There is loads and loads of information online, so just try and keep it really simple. All right, so attachment style theory, and then we went on to the mishmash machine, which is basically our brain. I'm just going to change notes here because I have about 400 pages of notes today, so I'm just going to throw it on the floor there where it belongs. So yeah, the mishmash machine there, that will be how we process information and how we can change the actual reality into our own reality, all right? And that's could be based on our core beliefs or previous experiences or trauma. So now the core beliefs there, the core beliefs are basics, let's see, basic beliefs about ourselves, the world that we live in, or others. And these beliefs, we hold them to be truth deep down, all right? Now, there's a few things I need to correct from last time, and thank you, Tom, for pointing them out. If you're watching, hey, Tom. So yeah, I did make a few mistakes last week, so I'm just going to correct one of those right now. So when I was talking about core beliefs, I did mention that core beliefs are generally bad. That is not really correct, because core beliefs can be positive as well. And it all depends on our previous experience, our life experiences, our childhood, And so, for example, because we say the core beliefs are usually, you could put them in a phrase like I am, they are, and the world is, yeah. So a positive core belief would be I am safe, they are my friends, yeah. So that could be as well. So it really is not as black as white as I put it out last week. And as well, I mentioned that the core beliefs are unshakable, so they can't be changed, and that is not correct either, because they can be changed. It takes a lot of work, and maybe through therapy, for example. And if you remember, I did mention the cornfield example, like how, if let's imagine that we live in a cornfield, right? And cornfield are really like tall, and there is like one street that you always walked, right? And that will be your core belief, right? And that's the only one that you can and that you want to walk. But if you won't, you can start and slowly choose another path, remove all the corn so that you can have a new kind of way, yeah? But once again, it takes kind of a lot of work, but they are changed. You can change them. So please, sorry about last time. I did say, when I do this video, sometimes I tend to chat away a little bit too much. So please bear with me if I did make some mistakes, but at least I'm rectifying them. So that's good, I guess. So yeah, then we went on to talk about values, and our values are basically our moral code, right? We choose our values. They help us making decisions, for example. Now, a little mistakes I made last time was that I say that values are generally positive, and that's not always the case. Values can be kind of negative as well. So you can choose your values, and you can choose the value to, hurt people, for example, which will be not a bad value. So once again, it's not as black and white as I put it out, okay? There's many shades, all right? But generally speaking, so values are our moral code there. Then I went on and talk about trauma. And trauma is basically any event or circumstances that causes us so much stress and overwhelm our ability to cope. And if you remember, I did write the 3E, which is kind of an easy way to remember trauma. So that will be event, experience, and then effect, yeah? So effect. So something will happen, that'll be an event. Something will happen, I will experience that event in a particular way, and then that event will have an effect on me. And I think last time I did example of, event, I've been into a car accident. So what experience did I have? So, I don't know, I said blood, scream, hospital, and then effect will be, I get anxious now every time I go into a car, all right? Now, about trauma as well, there's something I need to rectify, and basically, I did mention that trauma can be anything, all right? And it could be, yes, the loss of a pet as well, for example, but it's important to validate people that have had like bigger, massive traumas, that really can have a huge effect on their life. I do have my notes, bear with me. Let's see what I wrote in here, what Tom told us. So if you go like validate people who have gone through horrific things, because those things can increase the likelihood of trauma and make it more likely to impact their life. So once again, I was being really like either this or that, and it's not as much, all right? So I hope you understand a little bit better as I do. And please, once again, I'm sorry if I make those mistakes. And then the last thing we went through was a little bit about healing from trauma and how can we like grow from it. I'm just throwing away all my papers, hold on. All the floor, you don't need you anymore, bye-bye. So so we can heal from trauma, we can't erase the past, we can't forget about it. It's always gonna be there, like deep scar, but we can grow from it and heal from it. For example, by regaining a sense of security in our life, by learning to trust people and to trust ourselves again, by making new connections and having positive relationships. I mentioned, for example, college itself, that is a great way of like healing, because you can get to talk to peers, that people that have experienced things similar to you, and can really empathize with you. So positive relationships are really important when trying and healing from trauma. And I did finish with the Gaga quote, which I will say again, because it's just the best. And yeah, so Lady Gaga said once, she said, it's not how we look that makes us beautiful, but what we've been through and how we survived. All right, so just remember that sometimes, you know, because we're all survivors at the end and we made it and we're trying, you know, we're learning right now. This is how we heal, you know, this is how I heal. So yeah, and that was last week. So we shall start with this week. Bear with me. I'm just getting the flip charts out, in and out. Yeah, there we go. And you know where they go, these flip charts? On the floor. Right. So the first thing we're gonna do today, we're gonna go through a little skill here. Let's have a look. No, a little bit down. You see, hot cross bun. Yeah, it's all in. Perfect. So this is called hot cross bun. Easter is just gone. I'm just gonna drink some water. Bear with me. So this is a model that comes from CBT therapy, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. All right, and basically it will help you when you find yourself in certain situations. It will help you understand a little bit better about yourself and a little bit better about the way you behave, how you're feeling, what your emotions you're going through, and how they all interconnect with each other. So up here we got thought, then we got feeling, then we got physical sensation and behavior. And imagine here there's another big circles all around here, right? And that will be the situation that you can't see. So I'm just gonna write it up here. Situation, yeah. So let's start with an example straight away, all right, of a situation, and let's put all these little pieces all together. Let's see how they interlink as well, all right? So let's say I'm at the coffee shop, right? Hopefully in the future we'll be able to. I'm at the coffee shop, right? And I'm waiting for my friend to have coffee with her, and she's late, all right? So let's start with the thought, yeah? So what thoughts, what could I be thinking at that point? You know, my friend is, let's say, a good half an hour late, you know, she hasn't replied to my text or my phone or my phone call, you know. So my initial thought is, okay, she might just be late. And then time goes, and my thought will become, oh, well, she doesn't want to come. She doesn't want to see me because she doesn't like me. I'm not worth of being liked by her, yeah? So let's go down here, let's not go around, let's go down here. And from this thought here, what physical sensation I might be experienced there? I might start to feel anxious a little bit. I might start to get, I don't know, sweaty hands, for example. Or some palpitation there, yeah? So a little bit of anxiety there. So let's go from the physical sensation, let's go up here for the feeling there. So the thought of my friend doesn't want to see me, how does that make me feel? It makes me feel worthless. It makes me feel like I'm not good enough. It might make me feel guilty, thinking I've done something wrong, for example. And then with the behavior, what could be my behavior? Okay, this is really personal, to be fair. So personally, what I will do, I will keep texting my friend. I will start to kind of harass her, all right? But this can change, obviously. That will be just me. This is just how I will deal with that situation, you know? I will be completely going whoo-hoo and say, oh, why are you not texting me? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? Da-da-da-da-da. But somebody else will have the opposite behavior and just completely shut down and completely start to be even more insecure, for example, about themselves, and then maybe no reply to her text if she does text us to apologize the day after. So the idea is that really, whatever situation you find yourself in, you can put it in the hot cross bun, and it's kind of good if you find yourself in the same situations, you know, especially maybe in relationships, for example, you know, with your partner or with your kids or whatever. If you find yourself in the same situations constantly, try and put them in the hot cross bun and try and figure it out what the four parts of it are. And the thing is, it can then, once you've done it, first of all, it can make you a little bit think about some side of it that you are not too keen on. For example, you might be really, really good about recognizing the feeling you're having, the emotions you're experiencing at the moment, but you might not gonna be as good and identify the behavior that an emotion cause, for example. So it's, as I said at the beginning in the first session, guys, this is all about knowing yourself and learn about yourself a little bit more, and maybe even starting then changing a little bit those behavior, once you can recognize all those emotions or the sensation or those thoughts, obviously. Once you start to recognize them, then you can start and kind of learn from it, all right? So on that note, what do you learn from that, right? Actually, before we go do that, I'll do something else. I'm just going a little bit freestyling here. So I forgot. Great. Yes. You can also break this cycle at any point, all right? It doesn't need to start specifically from a thought, for example, right? And it doesn't need to be stopped from one specific point, yeah? So you can break this cycle, you can recognize something and then change the behavior starting from anywhere, all right? And on that note, when I was saying what do we learn from it as well, we also, when we find ourselves in the hot cross bun, right? And let's call it the situation that I was telling you before, so my friend doesn't come, right? And my thought will be, she doesn't like me, all right? When I have that thought, and I recognize that thought, I put it in the hot cross bun, so I'm talking about doing it not at the same time, yeah? Not at the exact time, I'm maybe doing it later on, maybe even later in the week when you can be more rational, remember rationally checking the facts, etc. So when you think about it, no, that's the wrong one. I'm gonna do another one first. When you think about that thought, right, that is, my friend doesn't like me, what can you do is, can you see? Yeah, kinda, I'll do. So when you think about that thought, which in that case will be, once again, she doesn't like me, yeah? My friend doesn't like me, okay? So what can you do? You can strip down that thought, all right? So this is really hard, and it takes a little bit of practice, and also it takes a lot of honesty, all right? So strip down that thought and think, why do I think like that? Have I done something wrong? Has she done something that makes me think like that? Or, or there is something like deeper inside that you can see where I'm going there, that might relate to my core belief. If one of my core belief is I'm worthless, yeah, and I'm not worthy of any friendship, that's why my thought when my friend is late will be, she doesn't like me, So what we are finding there, when we're stripping out that first thought there, when we're stripping that down, what we're finding there is the hot thought. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can. So it's the hot thought. So what is a hot thought? That's all I wrote in here. So it's an automatic thought a person gets in certain situations that are linked to core beliefs. There you go. The thing is about the hot thought, you might not recognize that straight away, and it'll take a little bit of work, let's call it like that, to get to the hot thought. But once again, guys, in order for us to grow, and in order for us to kind of overcome a few of the things that we think about ourselves, we do need to put some work in, all right? And it might not be pleasant, I'm telling you, but it's going to be worth it, So that will be a little bit of your homework there. We're back on the homework now. So that will be just maybe when you find yourself next time, or if you now know about the hot cross bun, you can use all situations as well. Whenever you find in a hot cross bun situation, just try once again and strip it down, and try to get to the hot thought there, all right? Now, there is another skill that I'm going to give you now, and that can be really useful when we're starting to having this kind of we've started to think like that and having this kind of very uncomfortable feelings about a certain situation, all right? And this is really, really practical, all right? And I love it. And see, and this is called, yeah, Court of Law, all right? I'm just gonna get my notes. I got a sip of water. Bear with me just a second, please. So, yeah, not much on my notes, to be honest. So what this does, basically, it's kind of a pro and con, all right? But we call it a court of law because when you do this one, you can only use facts, yeah? And this is crucial. You can only use the facts. You cannot use any emotions, any feelings, just the facts, all right? And what you're gonna do, you are going to take whatever it is that you wanna think about a little bit more, and let's say again, my friend doesn't like me, right? That initial thought, all right? And you're gonna find things that are for that thought, so things that validate the fact that your friend doesn't like you, right? And then you're also gonna find things that are against that thought, so they say that is not correct, yeah? So this really just help us to have a more kind of balanced view, yeah? And once again, the important thing with this is the facts. You know, I've been telling you guys for the past 3 sessions, checking the facts, you know, try and be as rational as possible. And this is really important that when you do this, you know, if something, let's say my friend doesn't come for coffee yesterday, yeah, she didn't come yesterday, I'm gonna do this like next week, the list, you know, so take some time in between when the situation happened and when you do this, so that you can be as rational, as honest as possible, all right? So let's just throw it up there. So let's say the example once again was, yeah, my friend doesn't like me. So what are the things that are for, that validates the fact that my friend doesn't like me, yeah? Is there anything that is a fact, yeah? It doesn't count, I'm a bad person, doesn't count. Let's just say maybe, I don't know, I did something wrong to her. Let's say I stood her up once, yeah, so that counts, yeah. I stood her up, well, I don't know, the month ago, I didn't show up to coffee with her, myself, so maybe she's doing the same, maybe that's why she's upset with me, maybe. But what is against, yeah? Against that thought is just, I apologized, for example. I apologized and she accepted. So that seems accepted. It doesn't really matter. So I can go on and on, guys, but I don't think that's really relevant right now. It's more about to make you understand that this is just the facts. So honestly, sometimes you will find that the part that validates your thought might be more, because again, we are not perfect, you know, and yeah, sometimes we do make mistakes. Something will happen, you know, that some things will happen that, you know, makes having some problems and troubles in life, and it's just absolutely normal. So it's not just about validate you as a good person, you know, and making you feel better. It's literally just about to have a more balanced view, you know, and once again, checking the facts. All right. So I really, really like that, and I hope you will enjoy using it as well. So we're gonna go into the next one. So we've done the hot cross bun, we've done the hot toast, and now I'm gonna show you. I'm so sad that I'm by myself here. I'm still here, guys, don't worry, I'm just getting my stuff, which I obviously don't, there's this. So this is something that we give to the students, you know, at this point, and this is, I'm gonna show you in a second. I think, obviously I've got plenty in a college, so whenever, if you ever guys want one of these, you know, if you can't find it online, if you can't print it or whatever, I'm more than happy to give you some of these, which is, I don't know how good is this resolution here. That's it. It's a wheel of emotion. So I really don't know what can you see there, but basically you got some, it's like a kind of, you got the big emotions here in the middle, right? And these big emotions are just like an umbrella for many other emotions, which I really don't think you can read. But so I'm pretty sure you can find something like this or similar. This is really kind of detailed one, so you might gonna find a little bit like more simple one, but anything will do at the moment. And once again, if you do want one, just please come and ask us when we are back at college normally. So why am I showing you this? Let's get the flip chart up. Oh, it's a lovely and empty flip charts. Yeah, that's it. You can see? I hope you can see, guys. I mean, you can see me. That's enough. I'm joking. Right, okay. So, why am I telling you this? Because now we're just going to talk a little bit about emotions, all right? And this is This is a really great tool when you want a little bit discover a little bit more about yourself and about the way you feel emotions. You know, what emotions are you feeling? Because sometimes we don't know, you know. Maybe I myself, I'm not English either, so I don't really know the words sometimes, you know, to express really my emotion in the correct way. So I could just say, I'm just gonna do an example here. I could just say, let's say I'm going to therapy, right? And I could just say to my therapist, so today I'm just feeling bad, right? So bad is one, like, it's such a big umbrella, you know, and that could be so many other things, you know, going on underneath. So if I now look, and I do use it quite a lot, to be honest, especially when I do see my CBN, you know, if I feel bad, then I really think about it, you know, and I look at the wheel, and it gives me all different kind of emotion that come from there as well. So it's here, for example, it says bored, busy, stressed, tired, things like sleepy, unfocused, overwhelmed, you know, out of control. So it really does help you kind of put the words to it, you know, to your emotion, and just think about it and say, okay, maybe this feeling of badness is just I'm overwhelmed. Maybe things are getting too much at the moment in my life, you know. So it's a pretty good tool, guys. So please just go and check it out online. And once again, if you do want it, we do have it plenty at college. So from there, I just want to talk to you about a little bit primary and secondary emotions. And once again, this is a really good kind of thing to know when you want to kind of know a little bit more about yourself, all right? So I'm just going to go straight into the definitions first, all right? So a primary emotion is an emotion that we have some kind of problem feeling, all right? So it's the emotion that is really deep down. I don't know how I'm going to write this. I'm not going to write anything, I've decided, so I'm just going to say that. And then the secondary emotion is the emotion that we go to, right? In order not to go to the primary one, we go to the secondary emotion because it's much easier to express and it's much easier for us to feel that emotion. So, for example, hunger, because this is reducing rage after all, so let's use that as example. Hunger is usually a secondary emotion, all right? So I will write that. So anger is usually secondary one. And that is because anger is really easy to go to. And as if you remember from the first week when we were talking about the positive role of anger, for example, anger stops us make us feel something else. Anger stops us make us feel shame, for example, you know. So if anger is my secondary emotion, then I will take, for example, if I take the wheel of emotion, you know, and anger is there, is one of the big umbrellas there, you know, and there is so much there that is let down, humiliated, bitter, mad, aggressive, frustrated, distant, critical, and then we go into dismissive, numb, annoyed, infuriated, etc., etc. There is really a lot going on down there. But it says in here, I got an example. Let's say for a long time, I couldn't and would not let myself feel sad, hurt, or lost. So I will then convert that emotions, I will swap it, yeah, into anger. because I felt safe with that emotion. That you know, especially with anger, you know, if I express my, like, if I feel like sad, you know, and express that sadness, I do become vulnerable. Okay, when I do feel anger, right, when I do express my anger, maybe through aggression, you know, so some kind of aggression, so then maybe people won't come near me as much, for example, you know, I will feel more like safe in a way than if I was expressing my sadness, or if I was expressing that I'm at loss, you know, I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. All right, so let's say the sadness, yeah, or the hurt, for example, that will be my primary emotion. Yeah, so really deep down, my primary emotion, I feel sad, I feel hurt, I feel overwhelmed, right? But I'm afraid to feel those things. I don't want to feel those things, so I go and I feel anger instead. So anger would be my secondary emotion. It's much easier to deal with it, you know, it's out there, you know, people are not scared of it either, you know what I mean? People are sometimes, you know, people that are around us are more scared about things like sadness, you know, about things like anxiety, for example, about fear. But people, you know, they know anger, so that's why it's kind of the go-to secondary emotion. All right, so I hope you guys understand. Please, if you don't, just let me know in the comment below. I'm still pretty new at this, you know, so I'm still kind of learning as I go as well. Yeah, so primary and secondary, remember, the primary one is the one that you feel inside but you don't really want to express, so then you're going to express your secondary emotion, all right, which is kind of easier to deal with. And a good example, once again, will be if inside I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling hurt, that will be my primary emotion, but then I go and I use anger instead, and that would be my secondary emotion. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna show you the wheel again, so please, if you want it, just let me know, and if you can try and find it online, that is such a useful tool. All right, and then we are gonna go on to the next one, which I can see is already very empty. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, so a difference between, yeah, so just a quick few words about the difference between thoughts and the difference between feelings, all right, which I would really love to have my, oh, it's here. No, it's not. I've lost my note. Bear with me. Oh, this is even the, oh, that's here, it's here. Found it. Hallelujah. So, right. This for me was really hard at the beginning, you know, it's things that I'm still kind of learning it a little bit, but I'm going to try and keep it really, really simple, all right? So, like, super simple. So, thoughts are words, yeah? And feelings are sensation. So, this is super basic, yeah? And I'm just going to read it out loud. So, basically, thoughts refers to a mental process, right, that occurs in the mind, and it's always as continuous, all right? Can you stop thinking? Not much. So, yeah, so it's a mental process, yeah? I'm just gonna write it here. While mental process, and it's continuous process. And then we got the feelings, right, refers to more of a sentiment, all right? That's really nice to say. It's more of a sentiment that occurs in the heart of a person regarding something that they have experienced, all right? So this is more of, let's call it a sentiment, yeah? Yeah. And it says in here, feelings refer to the reactions that individuals have to external as well as internal factors, all right? And they can come to people due, we say again, external or internal factor, and it could be, for just to put it like make it a little bit more easier to understand. The feeling can come from something that we see, for example, or something that we hear, or just something that we feel internally, all right? And the thing is about feelings that they can be a little bit suppressed, and people, well, I am really good at not showing, for example, any feelings on my face, you know, you can just keep them inside, yeah. And then thoughts, the other end, are the words in the head that gives mental content to hopes, dream, and desires, yeah. And they allow for reasoning and weighing for options, so that assessment or consequences can be made before an action is taken. So this is very difficult word right there. So basically, yes, so these are the words that we use to give content in our head to our hopes, our dreams, and we use thoughts to make kind of decisions. And it says here, an assessment of consequences can be made before actions are taken. So we can assess a situation before do something, and that could this sounds really hard, but it could be as easy as, I don't know, don't touch the pot because the pot is hot. So you're thinking, you know, your pot is going to be hot, you're assessing the situation, so you're not touching it. As simple as that. And it could be obviously for any other situations, all right? So really, feelings are often a product of the way we're thinking about something, where thoughts are often opinion or assumptions as well. All right, now it's getting a little bit complicated, so I'm just going to stop here, and once again I'm just go back to simple. So thoughts are words, yeah, and the mental process, right, where feelings are sensation, and they come from like some sentiments in our heart, yeah. And guys, this is not easy. I am still trying to learn a little bit more about this, and once again, if you go online, there is so much about it, but this was just to let you understand a little bit, because we do get them confused, yeah, or at least I do get them confused quite a lot, you know. I think it's what you think is not how you feel, something that I can't remember, but that was something that somebody told me once, and I can't really remember it because maybe I wasn't paying that much attention. But anyway, so yeah, so that's it. So please try and remember that, and if you need a little bit more explanation, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a little bit more research. But as simple as that, thoughts, words, feelings are emotions. So now I think this is the last one, and this once again is a little bit of a skill that I'm gonna give you today, and it's good drawing. It's not as good as when I did my brain drawing. Oh no, I've lost something, guys. I'm just so useless. It's not as good as my brain drawing, if you do remember it. It was beautiful, but it's okay. I don't know. Yeah. So this is called the anger thermometer, right? And I don't know if you remember, I think it was the first week that we were talking about how anger is a healthy emotion, right? And can be justified at times. So this is what, oh, you can't see very well. Damn it, I'm just gonna, sorry, this one. But I'm gonna tell you, it's okay. Anyway, so yeah, so when we were saying how anger can be justified, so really this is a tool for it. Alright, so you can see down here, so down here I wrote calm. So that's your thermometer, right? So you start from calm, alright? And then you got our lovely number from 1 to 10, and that's the scale. So let's say 1 until 3, 4, you're just frustrated, you know, so that's really mild anger. Then from 4 until 7, you start to get probably angry. And then from 7 until 10, then you the explosion up there. 7 until 10, you're just furious, alright? So what do you do with this thermometer? I would like you to, it's homework, which is written here, you can't see. So some homework as well, you know. Just draw something like this, you know, or just 1 to 10, you know, and then think about what makes you 1 out of 10 hungry. What makes you 5? What makes you 10? Alright? So let's do some examples. Let's do my own examples, alright? So what makes me 1 out of 10 angry? See my eyebrows, they're so beautiful. Yeah, they're fake. I draw them on every morning, you know, with pencil. So when my eyebrows, and this is true, I'm not just, it's not just a stupid example, this is actual truth. When my eyebrows don't come nicely nice in the morning, you know, and they just don't seem to come fine. That's it. I get frustrated, you know, I start to get a little upset, maybe I don't, you know, things like that. So that's a good 1 out of 10. Let's say what makes me, let's go in the middle there. What makes me hungry? What makes me angry is when the DWP lies to me, yeah? Which once again is true story. Yeah. And then what makes me furious? Somebody hurts my family, alright? Hurts my family, we'll just say that. Okay? Now, for the purpose, obviously I won't put everything, but there's more. Yeah, these are just basic things, just to give you an idea of the 3 kind of degrees of anger that I can go through. All right. So, the idea is like, you see, if my eyebrows don't come all right in the morning, and I get a little bit frustrated, that's all right, you know? I can take a few deep breaths, you know, can use my skills, you know, and calm myself down, go back onto the calm area, not a problem. If the DWP lies to me, you know, that's my livelihood, you know, that's something that is really important to me, and the government shouldn't lie to me. So that I get hungry about it, it is justified in my eyes, yeah, 100%. And if someone else my family, yeah, definitely, I'm allowed to get furious, you know, and to try and do something about it, you know. So let's say that tomorrow morning I wake up, all right, and I go and do my eyebrows, because yes, I do my eyebrows even in lockdown. I do that. Otherwise, I do look like Voldemort without, so it's not very nice. So let's say tomorrow morning I wake up and I do go and do my eyebrows. My eyebrows don't come nice, and I go 8 out of 10. Yeah, is that justified? Why am I going all the way up there? Is that anger? So I know, yeah, I know that this should take me just on a 1, you know, should just a little bit of frustration, maybe throw the pencil at the other side of the room as much. That's it, you know. But why am I going all the way up, you know? Maybe something else is going on, you know, and that's all about, there you go, that's this anger thermometer. It's all about recognizing, you know, and learning a little bit more about yourself, because it could be the other way around, you know. I think I did mention it in the first session, I don't know if I did, to be honest, but the problem sometimes is not only that we get hungry too much, you know, and we don't get angry for the right reason or whatever. The problem sometimes is that also we don't get angry when we should, all right? So let's just say somebody hurts my family, right? And I'm just on 1, you know, yeah, whatever. Or the DWP lies to me, you know, and once again, that's my livelihood, you know. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm completely passive, you know. So that's something to think about as well. So it wouldn't be just 1 to 10, but it's also a 10 going back down to a 1, you know. And there you go, get your wheel of emotions out, you know, and just find the actual emotion that we were just talking before, you know, and try and find the real reason, or the hot thought, you know. This is just going a little bit deeper. That's all, and knowing yourself a little bit more. And it could be a little bit uncomfortable at times, as I say before, but this is how we grow, isn't it? So let me just have a look. Yeah. So this is, yeah, I just say in my notes, sorry, that it's just about personal responsibility, you know, and learning about yourself more, and then maybe change some of behaviors that we have, you know, because, hey, nobody's perfect here, but it's just how we grow, you know, and how we learn. And yeah, the last thing I want to mention about this is just that you can use it for anything, you know, sorry, not for anything, but for other emotions as well. So you can use it for anxiety, for example. You can use it for sadness, you know, and just find what makes you sad in this case and what level of sadness, and see if it's kind of justified, you know, or if maybe there is something you could do about, you know, and just make it a little bit more balanced as well. All right, so last thing, and then we're all done. So usually on session number 2, when we do this hunger thermometer as well, we do mention, and we do show actually, sorry, a video as well, all right? And this video, I've just put the title here because I am no way as good as like just putting a video now here, impossible to me. So this video is called This is Water, and you can just type it literally just after this, YouTube, you know, YouTube, and David Foster Wallace. Now there is quite a few versions of that video. There is very, very long. What you're looking for, it's about 10 minutes long. It's I think 9:43, something like that. So you can just type This is Water fishbowl version. I'm not gonna give too much away about this video because it's one of those videos sometimes people have literally like lightning bulb moments, you know. They just really like, wow. Some people won't like it. I have good mixed feelings about it. No, I think it's really good, and it's, I can say what I'm gonna say is that it put things a little bit in context sometimes, you know, and it just makes you think a little bit, you know, that sometimes we forget that we are not the center of the world. We might be the center of our own world, but we're not the center of the world, you know, and people around us might be going through things as well, and bam. Again, I'm not gonna go through it too much. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today, and thank you once again. And next week or so, last video out. The last video is usually I'm gonna do a little bit of maybe a recap or something like that, and then there's a few more skills. It's not too much, I promise. A few more very, very nice skills next week, and then we're done. So thank you very much, and I hope you stay safe and have a lovely, lovely, lovely day.